Now, you describe yourself as a radical result mentor. Do you want to talk about why did you do that?
So one of the things is, so my company's name is Radical Change. And when I think about, radical, and the word radical really being grounded in getting to the root of something, right? And understanding like the essence. And I think that the essence of change is really around the results that come out of it, right? A lot of people do work, a lot of people are busy, a lot of people do activity, but what are they getting out of the activity that they're doing? So when people work with me, what you get, first of all, we're going to the root, right? We're going to the essence of how we need to address things, but the focus is on results, right? So when we start the program, when we start a conversation, when we initiate and go down the road, my first question is, okay, well, what are the outcomes? What are you looking for at the end? What things have you been trying to do that you have had trouble doing? What things have you been trying to get that you've had trouble obtaining, right? And so, how what if you know where you're trying to go, then I can help you get there. And we can do that, right, in a meaningful and measurable way. And that's a results focus. And so for me is, I don't want to do work if I don't get any results out of it, right? So I use an example. People hire coaches all the time. And I have a friend of mine who hired a coach, and they paid this coach $10,000 for this coach to help them do this particular thing. Okay, so the coach helped them with one thing, and they emailed a couple of times. They had a couple of conversations, but the person doesn't feel like they definitely didn't get their $10,000 worth. Well, so when I said, well, what did you go in expecting? They told me what they expected. And what did you get? Well, they're like, but I didn't get any results. I talked to the person. They were nice. We built a relationship. But at the end of the day, nothing changed for me. At the end of the day, when people work for me, they're going to be able to say, okay, well, I was able to launch my nonprofit. I was able to, up my game. And now, I am helping people in my home or my church or my community unlearn or unpack anti-Blackness. Or I was able to really figure out the direction that I want to take for this new venture in my life. And now I have the confidence and the skills. I was at a level 4 of 100 for confidence before the mentorship. Now I'm at like an 87 or whatever the case may be. So it's radical in the sense that I'm focused on results, because at this point, right, if we're going to make meaningful progress in anything that's important, we have to focus on what are we trying to get to. We have to focus on, okay, well, what is the outcomes, right, that we're really trying to get. And so that's what it is. And so it's radical in the sense of, I don't know how many mentors are telling people, hey, we're focused on results over here. And so the other thing is, when it comes to the clients or the people that I want to work with, I don't just want to work with anybody. I want to work with people who have serious work that they want to get done, and people who know that they want to focus on the outcomes. I want to work with people who are serious about trying to achieve results. And again, boom, that's radical, right? And so that's what it is. And a mentor, I look at a mentor as a person that supports you, but not only that, it's a person with whom you develop a relationship, and in that person you can see something in that person that reminds you of you. And when you see that person, you say, I think that person can help me go to this point, or that person can help me with that, because you identify with something in that person, right? I have several mentors, but my business coach, right, my business mentor, when I look at her, I mean, literally, she talks like me, and she says stuff that I would say, right? And when she's talking, I can see me being and doing what she's doing. I can hear her when she's talking to me, and feel and get and know what she is saying is for me, right? Even if I'm watching a tape, of a video that she did 3 weeks ago, because I can see in her what she has that I'm attracted to, that I want. And so that's the other thing, right? So in a mentor has what you want, whatever that is, right? And it's just a matter of, how can you make that relationship work for both you and them, so that you can you can get that and have that. And so for me, like I said, I don't want every person to work with me. I want people who are serious about trying to get real work done, people who are really serious about advancing. And you know all my clients aren't black. Literally, I only have one black client. All my other clients are white, right, and Asian. And the thing is, you can't be scared of hearing something that sounds new. You can't be scared to tackle, a tough topic, right? You can't be scared to have a discerning discussion, on something that, was deemed taboo before, right? But what I will say is that, the reason that I'm really pushing the conversation around alleviating anti-blackness is because DEI doesn't work. Diversity, equity, inclusion, it doesn't work because, to your point earlier, the oppressor is not going to give you, the keys to overthrow them. They're not going to do it, right? The slave master wasn't going to just let people walk off the plantation, right? They that's why they had guns. That's why police was made, right? Literally government was made to protect business. And the first business in this country was the business of breeding human beings. Period.
Now, I'm beginning to see that now. Probably there is a delicate balance that we need to strike now. That perhaps we don't need to start a war against even the oppressor in Africa. Maybe we don't need that war really. Maybe we need to understand the game, how it is played, and we need
That's
to
right.
participate according to how it suits our interest. We are going to dethrone European from Africa. This is our final objective. It must be clear. We want to be the leaders of our land, but we are not going to do this by fighting. Let's try to understand the game and look for a way to tell them, hey, you are welcome to Africa, but you are going to play according to our rule. When we get to your land in Europe, we will play according to your rule. You cannot impose yourself on us. We cannot impose ourselves on you. But we're going to look for a very delicate, fine line to do this without resorting to a catastrophe. I think that can also be very interesting because now we are beginning to see that if you have something that is really highly valuable, the other person you are proposing to is going to take it from you. As long as you're not just saying, hey, start shooting, let's start fighting. Because I don't think that is really going to resolve the problem. Because the
No.
European, you see, it takes them a lot of hundreds of years to be able to get to where they are today in Africa, where they are basically the laws of Africa. They control everything in Africa, from military to economy to politics to psychology to spirituality. Everything is controlled out of Africa. How did we get to this point? It wasn't through a formally declared war. It was a systematic operation. So I think we need to deconstruct that system in a way that we don't need to say, now, hey, let's go and fight. Okay, the fight, what kind of fight are we really talking about here? So I think that is very important.
Yeah, it really is. And it's not the kind of fight that can be fought in that way. The fight first has to start within. But besides that, before that, or in addition to that, I think it really is about not fighting. I think it's about building. I think it's about becoming self sustainable. I think it's about building your own and focusing on your community instead of trying to fit into a system that is designed to destroy you, literally, right? Like we can't walk away from capitalism. It's not like we be like, oh, I don't need money, I don't need food, I don't need water, I don't need, no. But you can say that I am not going to continue to be a party to my own destruction. You can say I'm not going to continue to be a party to my own demise. You can say I'm not going to be a party to my own detriment, whether it's my emotional, physical, or psychological health. And I think that that takes self-love, right? I think that that takes, a lot. And I think that's where, black people got to step up, right? And say, hey, I love myself enough to respect myself and to fight for myself. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. That's what Asada Shakur said. We have nothing. to lose but our chains. Why, who wouldn't fight for that? So wake up and fight for it.
Now, if you were to say this is the primary objective of what you do, because what you do now, based on our discussion, what you do as a business is in full relationship to what you are as a person, and I find that to be very interesting. So, if that is the case, what is the central message behind what you do? Everything sum up together.
I think I would say leaders learn change, right? Which is my blueprint and my system. And so leaders learn change means that in life, we get confronted with opportunities. And at those opportunities, right? Change is always happening. Change is all around us. Change is this ever evolving energy, right? But leaders learn consistently. Leaders evolve. Leaders ascend, right? And so for me, I think if I had to sum it all up is leaders learn change. And so that's what I do, and that's what I teach, and that's what I live, and that's what I help other people do. And the change for right now, the change for me, the change that I see that incorporates who I am as a person and also right extends to my business is we have got to alleviate anti-blackness. And the way to do that is through raising up this generation of leaders who want to go from leader to legend. If I drop dead tomorrow, people going to know I was fighting for freedom for Black people. I'm fighting for alleviating anti-Blackness so that Black people can just live life in peace, right? So if that means we can get all the damn companies out of Africa, great. If that means Black people in America can get paid the same amount as their European counterparts, great. If that means that people from all over the diaspora can travel freely and live life without worrying about stuff happening to them just because they're Black, then these are the like this is the future. But a pro-Black future, right, has to start with alleviating anti-Blackness. But that can't start until we step up as humans, as people, as leaders. So the summary is leaders learn change. And so I say, let's level up together. Let's learn together. So that's how I can say it is leaders learn change. And so let's learn together.
Thank you so much for that. It's very important. I love that. It's very important. All right, now how can people connect with you? Those who want to do business with you, because we are also here for this. We are here to connect so that we can learn from each other, but we can also do businesses with each other because we really need this. So share with people how to connect with you.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, VondaPage.com is my website. And so the easiest thing is if you go to VondaPage.com, there will be a pop-up that you can pop your email address in. And then you go on the VIP mailing list, and then you get the calendar and all of that. That all starts September 1st. You can email me at Vonda@VondaPage.com also. And then go to dumpdei.com to find out about my upcoming Destination Dump DEI Live Conference. You can go to rollingresultsmentorship.com to find out about the mentorship. And you can also go to Leader to Legend exclusive and hear the replays from my most recent masterclass. And I'm going to have some other things coming up. And they can always literally, you can go on Apple or Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts and type in the group chat at Living Corporate and catch my podcast there. I have another podcast called When White People Have Had Enough. They can look that up. And find me on LinkedIn also, the way we connected. But LinkedIn is funny, they be trying to mess with me. And so I don't know if people can connect me there, but go to VondaPage.com, and that's my website, and that gives you all the good info.
All right. Now, to conclude this conversation, what would be your final thoughts? Because we talk about different important things that concerns us as a people. So I want you to drop your final line there.
So my final line is, I love Black people. I want Black people to love themselves. And I want the world to love Black people and know how amazing Black people are. We have to alleviate anti-Blackness, but more so than that, right? It's a matter of thinking about the future that we want. And so I think that we should forge the future that we want, and we need to do that together.
Thank you so much for that. That's powerful. I love that. I love that. I appreciate it.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
I had a great time. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got a chance to do it, because I was like, so this was great. This was great.